Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the national finals of TCS Ion Intelligem 2021. Before we progress to the contest itself, can I request and welcome Mr. Mahadevan from TCS Ion to set the ball rolling.
Thank you. A big hello to everyone. It is a tremendous pleasure that I welcome you all to the grand finale of the TCS Ion Intelligem 2021. It just looks like yesterday, but we are at the final stages of the third edition of this contest. When we started, we had two goals in mind. One, how do we enable the skills and competencies young learners of today need? What everyone talks about the 21st century skills. And two, how do we work with the school system to really see how these can be integrated as part of everyday learning? First, let me congratulate all the finalists who are here. You all have reached, after 3 rounds, competing with the thousands across the country, the best who put their foot forward, but not necessarily in the bestest of the circumstances, I believe. Given the challenges in terms of the pandemic, in terms of the way we had to reimagine the way we study, the way we work. In fact, we had to reimagine the contest. We reimagined every single aspect of this contest to ensure that you all stay home, stay safe, and still be part of the 21st century skills domain. When we started the reimagination, we wanted to ensure that we have a model which is ready to go global. Reimagining every aspect of this contest helped us come to a situation today where you might not be competing with just the best in the country, but best around the globe very soon, maybe in the very next year. All of this would not have been possible without the active participation and enthusiastic support from schools and students. We are happy to tell you that schools from 180 plus cities and towns of the country, spread over 27 states, participated. A big thank you to each and every one of you who took the initiative to encourage your young learners to be ready for the future. Today, we have in front of us 50 of the young gems who are going to compete for the final stage of this, for the national crown of TCS Ion Intelligem. Till now, I hope you all had a very good experience, and hopefully the last stage is going to be yours. So all the best. Put your best foot forward and ensure that you are at your articulate best, creative best, and also empathetic best. Best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Maha.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shreya. It's my pleasure to once again welcome you to the grand finale of the third edition of TCS Ion Intelligem, an innovative national contest to unearth the gems of tomorrow. We are gathered here for the finale of Communication Skills category, junior level competition brought to you by TCS Ion in partnership with STEP from the Hindu Group. Let me begin by introducing our most esteemed panel of jury for the Ms. Vijaya Srinivas is currently the head of teaching and training in STEP for the Hindu Group, where she oversees all training, learning, and testing initiatives. Vijaya previously worked with reputed names like British Council, and in her last role, she led on assessment services for South Asia, Middle East, Africa, and Russia with Cambridge English Language Assessment, which is a part of the University of Cambridge. She has a master's in training and development from the University of New England and has also authored 4 children's books and written articles for general interest magazines and English language publications. Miss Nitya Lohit is a training manager at the Hindu STEP, where she manages all the training programs. She designs and develops material for face-to-face training across various levels, develops online resources for teacher development, and has conducted teacher training workshops. She also engages with learners through webinars, one-to-one coaching, and in large classrooms. Previously, she worked with Teach for India as a full-time teacher to children in an under-resourced school for 2 years. Through this experience of teaching in classrooms and working with key education stakeholders like students, principals, and parents, she has an understanding of the grassroots realities of India's education system. Prior to this, she also has over 4 years of experience as a software engineer. She holds a degree in electronics and communication engineering from Anna University. Shailaja Ramesh is a content manager at STEP, an avid reader. Her passion for English led her on a path which took her all the way after graduating with a master's degree at the Etheraj College for Women to the National University of Singapore, where she pursued a doctoral degree in English literature. Her stint in Singapore also opened up the world of education and her pedagogy for her. Having worked at Cambridge Assessment English, she brings a rich insight into the needs of English learners in India. And now, for our most important guests, our finalists, we have Ashriya Goel from Dean's Academy, Bangalore, Anasuya Parashar from PSBB Senior Secondary School, T Nagar, Chennai, Mihir Apte from the Orchard School, Pune, and Sarang LV from Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Ernakulam. They have successfully made it to the grand finale after proving their mettle in 3 challenge rounds. Please put your hands together to wish them luck for the grand finale. It's time to finally begin. Get ready for part 1 vlog. Participants were asked to create an innovative 1-minute introductory video, which they sent in earlier. Let's begin with Ashriya Goel from Dean's Academy, Bangalore.
Hello everyone, I'm Arshia Goel from the beautiful city of Bangalore. I'm a 5th grade student at the Dean's Academy. Wondering what's that I'm reading? Well, it's one of the Harry Potter books. Yes, I'm very fond of reading and Harry Potter is my favorite series as it is about friendship, courage and spirit of adventures, the values that I care about a lot. J.K. Rowling has created a world of magic in her books, but in the real world, the thing that creates magic is technology. No wonder science and maths are my favorite subjects and I want to be an inventor when I grow up. Finally, there is something that is above any magic. It's music. For me, music is life. बादलों के हो पर्दे, शाकी हरी पंखा जले. I believe in doing rather than dreaming, as Dumbledore says. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Ashriya, for that wonderful video. I truly wish I had your voice, and I can't wait to what you invent. Up next, we have Anasuya Parashar from PSBB Senior Secondary School, T Nagar, Chennai.
Hello, my name is Anusaya Parashar and all my friends call me Sia. Anusaya, who in Hindu mythology was the wife of sage Atri and mother of the moon. I celebrated my 10th birthday a few days ago on 13th January. I live with my parents in Chennai and I study in the best school with amazing teachers, PSBB T Nagar, Chennai. I love bright colors like blue and yellow and I like to eat pizza and ice cream. I also like to sketch, to play basketball and to swim. I like to try new things and become good at them. I don't dislike anyone or anything. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank Thank you, Anasuya, for that beautiful introductory video. Love how you balance eating pizza and playing basketball to burn those calories.
Thank you, ma'am.
Up next, we have our third participant, Mihir Apte from the Orchid School, Pune.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. My name is Mihir Apte. I study in the 6th grade at the Orchid School, Pune. I consider myself a book lover, a major foodie, and a Potterhead. I also love to read about Egyptian and Greek mythology. Every time I visit a new place, I love to try the local cuisine and learn about their culture. I also thoroughly enjoy playing tennis and Minecraft. If you ask my mom, she thinks I am still her baby. If you ask my dad, he'd say that I'm his partner in crime when it comes to eating junk food. What I really want is a puppy. But my sister says that it's either her or the puppy. In my mind, the choice is obvious.
Thank you, Mihir, for your interesting introductory video. I'm sure if my sibling wanted a puppy, I would say exactly what your sister said. Up next, we have our fourth candidate, Sarang LV from Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Ernakulam.
Origami. A plain paper turns into a piece of art through many folds. Some easy, some hard. Life is just like that. We all begin playing and we achieve our dreams through hard work and experiences. Namaste one and all. I am Sarang LV, a 6th grader from Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Elamakara. I am enthusiastic and hardworking. My reading habit gave me optimism which helped me get so far. My love for nature is immense. My goal in life is to become a programmer. More than that, a good human being. I wish all my fellow contestants a good luck. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sarang, for your very optimistic video. I must say, all the introductions were quite innovative. Wonderfully done, participants. Let's move on to part 2, roundtable group discussion. You will have 10 minutes for this round. The topic will be revealed now, and here it is. E-learning, pros and challenges. Now, before you start your roundtable discussion, I would just want to tell you that this round would be conducted just as it would have been done face to face. I will not call on you or ask you to speak. You have to listen to what the other participants have to say, and you have to initiate your response and contribute to this discussion. And your time starts now.
Okay, so hi everybody. So as you know from the introduction video, my name is Mihir Apte. Ever since this pandemic started, it feels like everything's been going wrong in our world, and this online school is something that most of us I know won't enjoy more than the real school, but there are pros and there are pros and cons. So what do you guys think?
I feel that e-learning has done a lot of good to us. For example, if I tell you, my online classes have been very, very interactive. I really love them. Our teachers, they are really kind to us, and especially the fact that when, even in this hard time, when there's so much going on, our teachers are still showing us experiments, and we're still doing so many activities, assignments, and even projects.
I agree with you, Madhvi. My school, Padma Seshadri Bala Bhavan School, in my teacher also, they are very loving. They take so many hardships just to make us learn. They give us small anecdotes from their own life, which inspires me a lot. The e-learning process sure has some disadvantages, like our screen time increases that may strain our eyes. But yes, it is important to learn. We may face some challenges, but there is no life without challenges, right? Risks are important in life.
I agree with whatever you guys said now. But as Mahal said, there are pros and challenges too. In my online classes, what I have noticed is that some of the students, sometimes they might be telling the truth, but most of them fake that their mic and video is not working. I have seen that many students complain that they are not understanding well enough. But I know that my teachers are taking good effort because I'm enjoying these real online classes.
I agree. This is a difficult time for teachers as well. And I like what you said there about our screen time increasing and we're not getting enough. I would like to add on by saying we're not getting enough physical activity because, as we know, most classes were shut down for quite a few months. And the major source of physical activity in our life was school and running around and playing with our friends. And I really miss that. That is something that online school will probably never replace.
Thank you, Mihir. Yes, I agree with you. But as you know in the introduction, I said my school is the best because our school has started PT and online classes for playing. We have started dancing and singing classes too. It's so nice as now I'm getting the experience I used to get in a normal school, even in these tough times of the pandemic. The online school has taught us so many things. As the pandemic has taught us, all of us know the advantages, but the advantages do us? Yes, we got more time to spend with our family, but some children are not truthful to the teacher. Like Sarang said, in my class also, there are some naughty children who most of the time tell the teacher if they do not understand the questions that we don't know the answer or they leave the meeting, which is highly unrespectful for the teacher.
Interesting point. I really liked it. But don't you guys think that sitting at the home in our own comfort zone, and even like if you've noticed, we don't even waste time in the travel. Like like before, you had to go through the bus in the whole like busy road. There was so much traffic. Sometimes you even came late to school. This time you just sit and start studying without even doing any travel.
Yeah, I must agree.
I
Oh, sorry.
slightly
You speak.
disagree with that. I slightly disagree with that because going to school is one of those experiences which online classes can never replace. And just like Mahal said, we are lacking some physical activities. I know that there are PT periods and dance classes, but there's a limit to how much you can get.
I agree with both Madhvi and Sarang. Madhvi said that we are attending it from the comfort of her home. Yes, that's really nice. But also, some people are untruthful to the teacher by asking some questions that the teacher asked them from their parents and answering the teacher. And the teacher thinks that the student is honest, but she doesn't know that what the student is doing. Sarang said that it is not good. Yes, it's not really good. It doesn't give us the feel of school. Yes, I believe that.
So yeah, like you said, I know that the PE classes and dance classes and sometimes for you guys music classes have started as well. I agree, it's quite helpful because it's a good way to get you out of that mood where it's like you're looking at a screen for 2-3 hours and then you just get like your eyes start hurting. So in this case, it's a good way to get out of that zone where you're just completely how would I put it? Where you're just completely bored, I suppose. So yeah, it's quite an interesting way to get yourself out of that boredom.
Actually, in my school, our teachers, every class gives us a 20 seconds break to close our eyes and relax so that our eyes relax and we can watch the screen for the rest of the class. As the class is for 40 minutes, a 20-second break is really important as even the teachers know it's not healthy for the child. As So, as Mihir said, I am not rude, but I think you were correct, but a bit wrong too.
So our school has decided that we get 40 minutes classes and in between 15 to 20 minutes interval for us to rest as well as eat our breakfast, food and all. But still I have noticed that last year only a few students of our class, including me, were wearing spectacles. But this year nearly half of the class was wearing spectacles. This shows that even with the breaks, the children's eyes tire.
Oh, yes, Sarang, but in my school it doesn't happen. I think that I think that it is important also that after the classes we don't watch TV too much. That can also increase our screen time.
Our school has actually taken this initiative where I don't know if this is actually an official initiative, but all the teachers have advised us to get these glasses, which I think you can buy off Lenskart. With they protect you from the harmful rays of the screen, and they can put less strain on your eyes.
Yes, Mihir, I also have the anti glare glasses. They are really helpful for my eyes. And
Also, like a good thing about e-learning is that like we get our ebooks, the books that we normally have are proper textbooks. This time we are getting it on the screen, so I feel that is more cheaper than the normal books, and it's even more fun to look at the screen. I mean, like, I know it increases screen time, but still, the books on the computer, now that all the youngsters are so tech savvy, they like to like have fun on the computer also. So similarly, they have started reading books which are even cheaper on e-learning and all.
e-learning
Just a heads up, you have 1 minute left.
in conclusion, I would like to say that we know that we have advantages and disadvantages, but we should stick to our life and take what God gives us in life.
I'd like to add on to that by saying that this is just a way where we can protect our families and our friends' grandparents. So, if that means that more people survive and we can save lives, then I'm willing to do it. Thank you.
Yes, Mimi, I agree with you.
Heads up, you have 1 minute left.
In conclusion, I would like to say that we know that we have advantages and disadvantages, but we should stick to our life and take what God gives us in life.
I'd like to add on to that by saying that this is just a way where we can protect our families and our friends' grandparents. So, if that means that more people survive and we can save lives, then I'm willing to do it. Thank you.
Yes, Mimi, I agree with you.
You have to create a story. You will have 1 minute to think and up to 3 minutes to tell the story. Wonderful. Let's begin. Arshia, here are your pictures.
Okay.
Okay, Arshia, your 1 minute is done and your 3 minutes to tell your story starts now.
Okay. So once there was a girl named Emily. She in the pandemic, she was really scared at first, but soon she started learning about all the technology and every online class and all. So now she started looking at a lot of social media, and she used to try to post some stuff too on it. So there she put some pictures of the things that she's doing during the pandemic. For example, she used to put a picture of her using a lot of sanitizer, because in this pandemic, obviously you have to use sanitizer since it's really necessary to be hygienic. So what she did, she used to take her camera out And with her mother and father's help, she used to click lots of photos of her, of her keeping safe during the pandemic time. After this, after a few days, there was this person. He did not show any name, or there was on the social media, he started bullying Emily. Now he used to say bad words, that why you being so nerdy during the uh, pandemic, you don't need to use that much sanitizer. And Emily felt really very sad at all this. She was feeling very hurt that, oh, why am I being bullied, I'm doing good stuff only. So she talked to her parents about it, and her parents said that it's okay, now we will not put any photos, because you can some people can start cyberbullying you. So she learned a lesson there, that not all the time can everything be on social media, because sometimes people can act as bots with other names or anything like that, and they can bully, because no one can see that person, because they don't really know that person, and maybe that is not the real personality of the person.
You have 30 seconds left, Ashriya.
Okay, so Emily was very happy after listening to this, and from now onwards, she was really careful of all the stuff that she posted on social media, and she also encouraged other people. I mean, she told and informed other people that social media can sometimes be bad for you, because she had experienced this too, and she told her personal experiences to the other children and her friends also. And from that, and her friends always stayed safe.
Ashriya, your time's up.
Okay.
Thank you. Great work. That was quite creative. Up next, we have Anasuya. Here are your pictures. Your 1 minute starts now. Anasuya, your 1 minute is up, and your 3 minute story time starts now.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Once there was a doctor and her child and her mother going around the world in a ship. It was so nice. Going in the water sometimes when the ship stopped, they enjoyed a lot. Once they were staying at a hotel as the ship had a technical error in it. When they were staying at the hotel, they got to know about the coronavirus pandemic, and they were in China. Unfortunately, they couldn't go out as it had started there. Now, the daughter got really scared, and the mother also. But the father was really strong, as he was a doctor. He knew that all the people's lives depend on me, and I have to be strong to be able to fight this virus. So, one day he saw his daughter looking at the globe. He asked her, "Baby, why are you looking at the globe?" Till now, coronavirus pandemic has spread all over the world. Her daughter said, "Father, when will this pandemic get over? I'm so sad about this. Sometimes I cry at night and I'm not able to sleep. I am too scared to even step out." Her father said, "Don't worry, child. I am here to help you. I will tell you what to do." So now he went out looking for a job, and he got a job, as there was a need of doctors all around the world. He started to look for the coronavirus vaccine, but it was not easy. And he believed that trial and error are important in life, so he tried, and there was an error, but he kept doing this. Her daughter, whenever her father would come, irrespective of the fact that he was in the hospital the whole day fighting with corona, she would go and hug him, as she knew that he is the hope, he is the hero, and it's her father. She felt a certain amount of pride in herself. Now, her father, working tirelessly day and night, he finally found the vaccine. But after a few days, when he was testing it on some mammals, he found out that it had a few side effects. He had to try it again. He failed. But this made him more brave and strong. So
You have 30 seconds left.
finally, he found the vaccine, which is COVID Shield at Covaxin, that has come in India now. Now the whole world is celebrating this. I thank to the doctors and I have faith in God that now the pandemic will get over. Thank you.
Great job, Anasuya. Great imagination. Up next, we have Mihir Apte. Here are your pictures, Mihir. Your 1 minute starts now. Your time is up, Mihir. You
Yeah.
can start your story now.
Yeah. So there is a man called Mihir. He is a genetic engineer. He has found the vaccine for a very infectious and deadly disease. And he is biking on the way to his office to give it in for production. Then he sees a black cat crossing the road. And suddenly there's a portal in front of him. He falls through. He loses his balance. And then guess what? He's teleported to the Himalayas. And there's a blizzard there. It's freezing cold. He doesn't know how to survive. He's always lived a very comfortable life in the city. So then, because of the blizzard, there is a giant avalanche and he gets buried in snow. But when he digs his way out, he realizes that he's skipped time. He was frozen by the snow and then he survived for many, many years. And then he came out at the same age that he went in. So then, when he makes his way down the mountain, he meets locals. And their houses look very simple and normal. But when he goes inside, he sees a VR room where the locals are in a sort of stasis chamber where they have VR glasses on, and then they're seeing what things happen in the rest of the world. They are seeing the events that are happening in the rest of the world. And he makes his way down, and then he eventually reaches the bottom. He sees this giant building, a very modern looking, technologically advanced building. He asks somebody on the street, "Where am I? What year is it?" He's like, "Oh, but of course, you are in the future city, and the year is 2047. He's like, "Oh my God, I have been frozen for 27 years.
You have
When-
1 minute left.
When he enters the airport, he realizes that it's not actually an airport. It's a teleportation chamber. When he goes inside, he sees these small hexagonal places from where people are stepping in and putting their luggage. And suddenly, they're gone, just like that. So then he makes his way into one of those. He asks one of the attendees, he asks one of the people at the desk that, "What exactly is this?" They say, "But of course, it's a teleportation chamber. Where would you like to go?" So he tells them the city where he used to live. They say, "Oh, but that city is gone. It was replaced a long time ago." So then he's like, "Oh, send me there." When he goes through the portal, he reaches back exactly where he went. So then he makes his way back to his office, and then he gives the formula for the vaccine,
Your time
and then
is up.
ends up saving the lives of many people. Thank
Your
you.
time is up, Mihir. Thank you so much for that interesting story. Up next, we have Sarang. Here are your pictures, Sarang. Your 1 minute starts now. Your time is up, Sarang, and you can start your story now.
Once upon a time, there was a woman who worked for a boss. She was a woodcutter and her boss was very strict. Hours and hours she used to work in the forest cutting down trees, and her boss won't still be satisfied. One salary day, she went to the boss and asked, "Boss, I have worked for 5 hours every day. Please give me at least 100 rupees as salary." The boss said, "No, you haven't done any work and you won't be getting any salary." Rejected, the woman went back home sadly. Then, another annual day at their office, the boss told this lady to bring some food for a party. When the annual day comes, the woman comes empty-handed. The boss asked, "Why? I told you to bring some food to this party so that we can all enjoy. Why didn't you bring?" The woman was about to explain, but the boss kept on interrupting her. The boss finally said, "No, get out of this office. I cut your salary and am firing you." The poor woman went back home crying. The next day, when the boss was reading the newspaper, he saw a certain news. It read that many people are having cancer. There's a giant cancer outbreak in the city. Then he looks at the people who have died from cancer. Some photos have come. In one of the photos, there is a small child.
You have 1 minute left.
That child looked familiar. She looked just like the woman who the boss had fired many months ago. So the boss called the woman and asked, Is the child on the newspaper your daughter?" The woman cries and says, "Yes, boss. This is why I have been asking for a raise for years. My daughter is a poor victim of cancer and she needed money." Then the woman cries and hangs up the phone. The boss feels heartbroken and sits there. He had outjudged the woman and hadn't given her time to explain. She was a poor woman, her daughter had cancer, and she had no money to treat her. That's all.
Saram, your time is up. Thank you so much for that lovely story. I think that this session jogged all our imaginative capabilities. Thank you, participants. Are you ready for the final round? Let's begin part 4, block and tackle. This round will test your debating capabilities even further. Participants will be invited forward one by one. As they speak, the judges will alternate between the commands block and tackle. You will need to deliver 4 arguments when the judges say tackle and deliver against arguments when the judges say block. The topic was already shared with you and will be shown on screen as you speak. Ashriya, your topic was celebrities are bad role models for children.
Yes.
We are not asking anything as of now. We're only going to say block and tackle. Block.
Okay. So celebrities are people who have excelled in their field by honing their talents to their utmost extent. They can be excellent role models for children who want to excel in the same field. And those children can learn a lot from their life story and experiences on how to turn dreams into realities. In my opinion, celebrities are hard-working, passionate people. Many of the celebrities were not born with silver spoons. Their life story involves a lot of struggle, hard work, determination, and resilience. Okay. Few celebrities sometimes are seen using foul language, smoking, and drinking, which gets publicized in the media. When children who are their followers get exposed to these things, they start believing that it is a good thing or a cool thing.
Block.
So many celebrities, apart from their regular career, do a lot of social work. For example, Anushka Sharma is working for animal welfare, and Salman Khan is running an NGO called Being Human, in which he provides education and healthcare for underprivileged children in India. This makes them
Tackle.
some celebrities endorse some products which they themselves don't use. Kids blindly believe that if they use the same product, they can be famous cricketers or actors like them. For example, cricket. There are certain drives which are started by the government, like Swachh Bharat Mission. Such missions, when endorsed by celebrities like Sachin Tendulkar, gain a lot of momentum due to the drive from the person.
Tackle.
These days, celebrities have started posting every single part of their life on social media. This does not add any value to the children. In fact, it harms them by addicting them to social media. As the celebrities are super rich, they have access to costly items like cars, clothes, and luxurious vacations. The followers, especially children, many celebrities, along with their successful careers, have started schools or academies. These help young children a lot, as such academies have given further rise to new celebrities. Similarly, many celebrities contribute to their fields by becoming judges or mentors in talent shows. This really helps the participants improving. As the celebrities are super rich, they have access to costly items like cars, clothes, and luxurious vacations. Their followers tend to imitate them, and thus they waste their money and time, which they should instead use on their studies. Some celebrities endorse some products which they themselves don't use. Kids blindly believe that if they use the same products, they can be famous cricketers or actors like them. For example, a cricketer endorsing a health drink or an actor encouraging to use a beauty product. This will make their followers think that if they use the same specific product, they can perform as good as the personalities without doing any struggle or hard work. Some celebrities have destroyed.
Block.
Okay. In my opinion, celebrities are hardworking, passionate people. Many of the celebrities were not born with silver spoons. Their life story involves a lot of struggle, hard work, determination, and resilience. For example, Akshay Kumar, in his struggling years, was a waiter. He used to sleep on the footpath. Similarly, MS Dhoni was a ticket collector in the Indian Railways. Their stories of becoming the most renowned Bollywood actor or the most successful cricket captain can be very inspiring for young children like us. So, similarly, few celebrities contribute their fields by becoming judges and mentors in talent shows. So, this helps the participants in. Some celebrities have misused their celebrity status by joining other fields like politics. In this, they do not have any knowledge about these stuff, and a blind followership in such powerful domains can be very harmful for the society. And that's all the points I've written.
Great job, Ashia. You came up with some brilliant points.
Thank you.
Up next, we have our second candidate, Anusuya. Your topic was film versions are never as good as the original books.
Shreya, 1 second before you move on. We'd like to just ask Arshia. So after you spoke for the block and the tackle, what is your view? Do you think celebrities are Bad role models or good role models? If you just had to sum it up in one line,
Okay,
what's
so
your view?
in my opinion, I feel celebrities are good role models. For example, as I said, the examples like Anushka Sharma or Akshay Kumar, such examples are really good role models.
Okay, thank you, Ashya. Sorry, Shreya, you can continue to the next participant.
Anusuya, you're up next. And your topic was film versions are never as good as the original books.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Block.
Films are audio-visual mediums which helps our brain to understand them better and remember them better, and we can recollect them. And when we go to see the movie, we have to go with a positive mindset that this is someone else's interpretation and we cannot compare it to ours. This helps us to respect others' perspectives.
Tackle.
If we read a book, we have a personal connection with the book. We can think about the characters. We can imagine ourselves to be any character in the book, and we can be in any setting. But a movie cannot take us to many settings as our brain can take us in a few seconds. In a book, an author describes what the character is thinking and what the character feels and the background in detail. But in a movie, if the actor is not really good, it really doesn't give us the feel. Then books are portable. We can take them anywhere and we can open them and read them when so we can go to movie theaters to watch the movie, which it has a social aspect, so with our friends and family, and we can enjoy more by discussing with them and laughing with them. Then there if you do not have enough time to read a book of like 600 to 1000 pages, people will obviously prefer some movies which will be like
Tackle.
movies are done for their profit, so they may cut many scenes, change many scenes, or even shorten them so that they can just earn the profit. Then books, we can read books at our own pace. If we take 2 months, 6 months, or even a year, but in a movie, it is for 2 to 3 hours only, and we want to finish it in 2 to 3 hours because we really want to do that. Then a good book.
Block.
Then if a director who makes the movie is true to the original story, we can really take the fun and we can enjoy it. It makes it a magical journey. And even when if we see the movie with our own perspective and not see that, and we think that the director who made this movie has a bad perspective, that's not really good of us. So it helps us to respect them. Like some scenes in movies are always nice, like action scenes. They are always nicer in movies as this gives us the feel of the action. But in a book, we really can't do that. In movies, we can go to a theater and we can see on the big screen. It gives us that feel and we enjoy so much.
Tackle.
But in a book, it can improve our imagination, our creativity, and it
Block.
can make movies are much better than books. I think as we can enjoy it with our friends and family, it can be truly magical because our family are our true companions, even our friends, and with them watching a movie has the real feel. In a book, in a movie, if there is a wrong casting, this can spoil our fun of the movie.
Block.
Ma'am, that's all points I have. And in conclusion, I would like to say that both the books and the movies are really important for some people. Some people think that books are better, some people
What?
think that movies are better. So
Thank
it's
you, Anusya. What do you think? Do you think
Ma'am,
books are better or movies are better?
Ma'am, I think that books are better because they give us the joy of reading, and a good book stays with us forever and ever. We always remember the moral we learn from it, and the different lessons and lessons and words we learn from it. It
Is there
improves
a
vocabulary.
is there a book that you read and then when you saw the movie version you were not very impressed? Is there
Yes,
anything like that?
ma'am.
Yes.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of Roald Dahl. I read it, ma'am, and I saw the movie on the TV, ma'am. But I really didn't enjoy, as I thought the actor who was Charlie didn't really do the role well.
Okay. Thank you, Anusya.
Thank you, ma'am.
That was amazing, Anusya. Loved your confidence. Up next, we have Mihir. Your topic was boarding school is harmful for students. And you can start.
Should I block or tackle?
I'll tell you. Just give us a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Block.
Yeah. I've always dreamed of living at Hogwarts, and if you're a Potterhead, I'm sure you have too. Boarding school can be a fun place if you're mentally prepared for it. You get to meet new people and go to new from different backgrounds and places. You can take up new hobbies and develop new skills such as horse riding, which are normally not available at day schools. Even
Tackle?
yeah, okay. Despite not having studied at a boarding school, I can only imagine being separated from my parents for 10 months or more and how it would harm my state of mind. Parents or guardian figures are the people who, in most cases, form our personalities and perspectives. But being put in a boarding school where we may be subjected to bullying will change our perception of the world in a negative manner. This may lead to some side effects. Such side effects include depression, difficulties in forming relationships, and emotional numbness. Block. The academics of a boarding school are more challenging than that of a day school and prepare you better for college. A study found that 78% of boarding school students felt prepared for college versus 36% of day school
Tackle?
students. Okay, yeah, sure. There is the average annual cost of boarding schools is 10 lakhs, while the GDP per capita of India is approximately 1.5 lakhs. This means that most people who can afford to go to a boarding school are people from upper middle class communities, thus exposing us to only a certain type of social
Block.
people from social status. Yeah. So in a boarding school, the student body is typically smaller. Thus, the class size is also smaller. This allows everybody to have their voices heard and gives personal attention to all the students. So children whose parents have occupations which require them to move quite frequently. Okay. Sorry, just a minute. There is a term for this kind of in effect. It is called boarding school syndrome. It causes emotional numbness, depression, and in some cases, difficulty in forming relationships. I have no doubt that if you are old enough and mature enough to deal with like these kind of things, then it can be a wonderful experience. But for most people who are not, it is a scarring and traumatic experience. Yeah. So I'll just continue from where I left off. Children whose parents' occupations require them to move frequently tend to have fewer childhood friends.
Tackle?
So, sorry. So yeah, sometimes being put in a boarding school, we are subjected to bullying, and our parents cannot help us out on this. In fact, one of my friends who goes to a boarding school says that he is only allowed to call his parents twice a week. So we cannot get as much advice from them on how to handle these subjects. And sometimes sometimes teachers won't believe you. Sometimes the teachers have to be unbiased. They don't have to believe they shouldn't have any preformed opinions about a certain person. So they might not believe you when you say somebody is bullying you. And our parents will obviously believe us. So yeah, tackle it. So for people whose parents move around a lot, boarding school gives them a fixed home and helps them to create and maintain childhood friends. And one might argue that with the advancement of technology, social media will help them stay in touch. I hear what you are saying, but only agree to a certain. I hear what I understand that this is a valid argument, but only to a certain extent. I ask you one simple question: if you argue with this, which is more fun to do, online school or physical school? Uh, Ma'am, that's all I have for block.
Okay. So, Mihir, do you wish you were are you in boarding school?
No, I'm in a day school.
Do you wish you could go to a boarding school?
It's a yes and no scenario. Depends on what kind of a boarding school it is, how rigorous the schedule is, and things like that.
So you'd want a boarding school that is rigorous or one that is not rigorous?
One that is more lenient and allows us to express our opinions and teaches us new things which we don't learn at day schools.
Okay, thank you, Mihir.
Great job, Mihir. Love how quickly you blocked and tackled for this topic. Excellent. Our final candidate for the junior round would be Sarang. Your topic was we should stop teaching children nursery rhymes and fairy tales as they promote the wrong ideals. And you can start, Sarang.
Block.
If you want your child to become intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want your child to become more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. This is a quote by Albert Einstein mentioning how important fairy tales are in a child's life. Fairy tales and nursery rhymes provide ways for children to receive important messages. Although there are some unrealistic messages, their overall effect is positive. Fairy tales help children deal with basic human relationships.
Tackle.
But real relationships don't include knights in shining armor or living happily in castles. Girls may grow up believing that they will find a charming prince who will marry them and will not try for an independent life. Also, many nursery rhymes and fairy tales contain dark themes.
Block.
Even if there are unrealistic messages, the overall effect that fairy tales and nursery rhymes have on children does more good than harm. They help develop speech skills, story development skills, and many other skills required.
Tackle.
But fairy tales and nursery rhymes have their share of bad opinions too. Let's analyze two nursery rhymes. In London Bridge is falling down, it seems as if the bridge is falling and there's a great fire and people are dying. And in Ring Around the Rosie, Rosie is a term for the rashes that come with the bubonic plague, which have to be concealed by a pocket full of proceeds. The next two rhymes speak for themselves, which are sneezing
Block.
and all for
Block.
everything has a evil side and a good side. The struggle between good and evil is a frequent theme in fairy tales.
Tackle.
And children have a greater chance to absorb the evil parts of the story and absorb the evil characters. So we must be careful of what children are learning as they are the seeds of a
Block.
better future. Fairy tales and nursery rhymes promote cross-cultural values and behaviors. They preserve culture and provide something in common between generations. They also teach history and connect a child to the past. Repetition of nursery rhymes and fairy tales is good for the brain and develops mouth and tongue muscles. They also help in body coordination.
Tackle.
We have been telling these outdated ideologies through nursery rhymes and fairy tales for many generations. For example, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and take Cinderella too. So what do they have in common? Not only fair skin and glossy looks, all of them are saved by a prince from a lifetime of misery. So we find that female characters are often portrayed as weak domesticated slaves or evil conspiring old women. And male characters always hold the power to, always hold the key to
Block.
power. Even if that is the case, fairy tales help students to understand that bad things can happen to everyone and that they must be prepared and believe that they can succeed in life. They also are very important for teaching
Tackle.
students. Yes, they are very important for teaching students gruesome things. When we take the story The Three Little Pigs, we find that the wolf gobbles down the two of the pigs. As well as in Red Riding Hood, the wolf gobbles down the main character's grandmother. And this makes children think that wolves are the bad animals. In real life, the case is not right.
Block.
Children can differentiate between good and bad. Even if fairy tales and nursery rhymes take them to a fantasy world, as they grow up, they understand the meanings of these fantasy stories, and those moral truths stick to their hearts and minds. Children's imaginations can further be enhanced through reading and listening to fairy tales and nursery rhymes. They help children develop their brain, enhances their creativity and reasoning skills.
Is that all you had, Sarah? Are you finished with your points?
Ma'am, this is block or tackle.
Have you finished all your points, whatever you wanted to say? Or do you still have?
I have some more points, but the thing is that I just forgot what it was. Block or tackle?
Okay, do tackle.
Okay, ma'am. So children can get many bad ideas from fairy tales like kidnapping and black magic.
Block.
Research shows that fairy tales and nursery rhymes help counselors and therapists who use them as a means of allowing children with illnesses to cope with their anxieties. And
Tackle.
that's all I remember.
Okay. So, Sarah, would you teach your children nursery rhymes and fairy tales?
In conclusion, we find that fairy tales and nursery rhymes are part of our culture. So, I block the topic statement and state that we should teach children nursery rhymes and fairy tales. They help children develop their literacy skills. They are great introduction to stories and poems, and they do not promote the wrong ideas.
What was your favorite? Thank you. What was your favorite nursery rhyme?
My favorite nursery rhyme was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Okay. And your favorite fairy tale?
I don't have much of a favorite fairy tale because I haven't read much of them. And what all I read, I have left fairy tales because of what I found out.
Okay, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarang. Loved how energetic you were throughout. That was quite spectacular. Please put your hands together for our wonderful participants. Congratulations to all our finalists. The results for the competition and the prize distribution will be held on 26th of January. But before we wind up, I request our judges to share their thoughts on our contestants.
Okay, children, that was fabulous. I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause. So let's start with that. Okay, I know that everybody tells you it's not about who wins. I know all of you want to win, but it really isn't about about who wins, because you all did a fantastic job, and I'm sure you learned a lot through this entire experience with TCS Ion. What we thought we'll do today is, for each of you, we've noted down some of your strengths, and we've also noted down things that you can work on for future competitions, right? So we're going to share that with you. I'm going to share my thoughts on, these are all our collective thoughts, but I'm going to share some thoughts on Sarang. Right? So, Sarang, you spoke in a very well-paced manner. You were not too fast, you're not too slow, and you're very calm and collected. So, overall, you give off a very pleasing kind of personality and a very pleasing demeanor with all your colleagues, with your friends, even in the group discussion when you were speaking to them. So keep that. That's a big strength that you have, and make sure that you don't change that aspect of your personality. Something that you can work on is probably the pronunciation of certain words. You can improve on them. For example, you said outjudged, you said outbreak, familiar. Certain words like this, you mispronounce them slightly. So the way in which you can improve your pronunciation is probably when you watch movies, try to watch it first with the subtitles and listen to it, and then switch off the audio and try to read the subtitles on your own, and then again put it on and do it along with the movie. So that way you will be able to coach yourself in pronunciation of certain words. Your vocabulary also similarly, for example, you use outjudged. So you've used some really good words, but not always in the right manner. So again, reading more, watching more movies and things like this will really help you to use vocabulary more appropriately, right? But keep your friendly spirit, don't change that, and your very pleasant demeanor, and wish you all the best for all future things, competitions and everything else that you do. You did a fantastic job. So I'm going to pass on to my fellow judges, and they will talk about the other candidates.
Hello all, good afternoon. And like Vijaya said, it was wonderful participation. It was great to hear all of you, just to listen to all your thoughts and what you had to share with us. It was a brilliant effort, especially with all of this online thing too. So it was great work. I just wanted to share my thoughts with two of you today, Anasuya and Meher. Let's start with Anasuya, okay? So Anasuya, it was a pleasure to watch you, in your group discussion. I could see you had prepared excellently. Your engagement with the audience was also very nice, along with engaging with your fellow contestants, your participants. So your thorough preparation, the kinds of things you had looked up and prepared showed through, and that was a really good job. Well done. You should pat yourself on the back for that. One thing I really wanted to see from you was your spontaneity. It would have been great to see more of your spontaneous thoughts and actions. That would be good to see, because sometimes I do realize that, in an online forum, we do need to be careful, and you must have prepared a lot, but sometimes it can show up as over prepared, and what we need as spontaneity might not come across. So I would have loved to see more of your spontaneity, exactly what you thought, and don't be shy about engaging spontaneously with your audience. For instance, during your picture story time, I would have loved to see more of your expressions, your storytelling phase come alive. So that would be great. Apart from that, you have your great vocabulary, and your audience engagement has always was wowing me throughout. Right?
Thank you, ma'am. I'll work on my weaknesses, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. Hi, Meher. It was wonderful to watch you talk. One of the first things that struck me was you got your fellow contestants going with the group discussion. So that was a really good job. You have excellent initiative. I love watching that. and you had some really good points to share. You were so thoroughly prepared and you were very confident about it, about not only sharing but also responding to your fellow contestants. So great job with that. Your story was also very interesting. I loved listening to it. It was, you had really thought it through. And I have, regarding your confidence and your engagement, it was wonderful. The one thing that you can absolutely think about doing is, once again, your spontaneity, your ability to actually spontaneously, creatively engage with other people. You don't need to, for certain things, you might not need to think, prepare too much, right? You can tell us what you actually feel. For instance, what you thought about boarding school. You can just say, it's just a question, whether you like it or not. It might have its own pros and cons, but you can just say what you thought about it. So think about that. Think about what you also feel about it, and don't feel shy about sharing it. Yeah. And you could also work on your vocabulary a bit. You can, I'm sure you already read. Do you read?
Yeah, I do.
Great. So you can read more, read widely. Look up words in their context. For instance, when you read a newspaper, I'm sure you've heard this before. Look up when you come across words. Look at reading words in their context. Right. So that would be great. And if you could, I would have loved to see a wider vocabulary from you. But apart from that, it was a pleasure watching you. So, and congratulations and good job, Anasuya and Meher. All the best to both of you.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
will work on what you said.
I'll just hand over to the other judge.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was a pleasure watching you all today. I'm really happy to be part of this and to listen to your thoughts. So I have some feedback for Arshia. Hi, Arshia.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. So, Arshia, you're really confident. You came across very confident in all the 4 rounds. Good job on that. And I really liked the examples you had during your block and tackle round about the celebrities. You had examples like, from real life actors, you had names. So I noticed that when it comes to a prepared topic, your preparation did come through and you had great points. You're more confident with prepared topics. So I really liked the instances you mentioned when you had to support and speak against the topic. There was one thing which I thought you could improve, that is using fillers. When I say fillers, when you're speaking and you really don't know what word to put in there, you use and all. When you speak, like for example, when you were talking about the story, you said coronavirus was spreading everywhere. She knew that and all. So you tend to use and all instead of words. Like if you don't have the word word for it, you tend to use fillers. So that is something you could work on. And how you can work on it, maybe you can record a particular topic. You pick a topic and prepare a speech on it, record that, and then listen to it, and you'll note down if you're using those fillers and try to see what are the words you can use instead of that filler. So if you consciously try to avoid it, you will be able to do it. Yes, you can make it a practice.
Definitely improve on that.
Thank you, Arshia, and all the best, everybody. Yeah, we can meet you on 26th.
Thus, we come to the end of the finale of communication skills category junior level competition, brought to you by TCS Ion in partnership with STEP from the Hindu Group. We look forward to seeing you all again for our award ceremony, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you, everyone.